Interesting effect here in Fehrbellin. We're in the 5th turn. This is interesting for the Brandenburg big right wing cav unit, which is spread all over the board right now, mostly not in command. Was under charge orders. This guy is about the only effective unit. There's another one here that just got into command recently. Smashed into, I believe two separate infantry units from the center, crushing both of them, getting rid of their leader. One went to the dead pile, and one is routing over here, basically smashing from behind. We've got him causing hedgehogs, which are going to be an annoyance for the Swedes, no question, to try to get out of that. Means that they can't interfere with any kind of recoveries quickly. Problem was, this unit finally ended up formation broken. This guy's at a position where he would have had to attack, and there's very little chance he'd survive an attack in good order. Except they got out of the charge, and they ended up finally making it into make ready. I've been trying that they've gotten 3 activations this time, and they didn't get it during the other 2. The turn before, they'd been trying an all turn. They're just trying to get their command to pull off this attack version. Well, it finally happened, and that bodes pretty well for maintaining the staying on the field. Any ability to be able to pursue this advantage? Probably not. Trying to recover troops back here with the elector. And likewise, the Swedes are probably going to be able to recover most of their routing units. So, as long as that's a priority, as opposed to, trying to get a successful attack going, then I don't think driving the Swedes from the field in a rout is going to be a possibility. We'll see, though. And that's going to be the end of the 5th turn. I have to put a new colonel on the infantry wing. I'll figure out where that goes in a moment. Well, what happened? Beyond the exciting actions of that main wing, everybody's pretty much reforming still. Derflinger couldn't get out of his reform action. What he was able to do was get his big artillery firing, and it got formation hits on both of these guys because they're in grazing range. 3, 4, 5, 6. That's kind of a sweet thing to pass through fire. I really like that in the game. This section's mainly at least been rallied. Still haven't moved my routing units. They've got to get moving, and this guy. But beyond that, this is pretty much the set. We've got, that center line's broken. This stuff, it's useless. There's not much left of the Swedes. There's a cav unit here and a cav unit down here, both of which have a chance. So, we may be pretty close to the Swedes collapsing completely. I'm not sure yet. The big question is, there are still a couple of heavy infantry units, and those are hard to take down. So, unless that main cav wing gets reformed enough. Now, these units are not in bad shape at all. I was looking at them. So, they may just spark off another charge fairly soon, if those units are in pretty good shape. Alright. It looks like I tried to cheat towards the end of last turn. Or actually early on, I guess. Here we are in turn 6. And I made a mention about how these weren't in bad shape. Well, I was only in make ready state and couldn't rally. It couldn't form them up as much as I had. Anyway, at the beginning of this one, we had the 2 highest precedence commands under make ready. This formed up a little bit here. He could only form his own unit. The other units he's with, you probably ought to start improving them, are not close enough to him to form up. He wasn't able to get into receive charge, and he wasn't able to get a continuation. And we got our big leader running back here trying to save one last unit from routing off the map. I'm not really too convinced that there's much value to this force trying to move forward, so I'm using the elector to pretty much just drive, keep the forces from leaving and losing points for them. Alright, onward. At the end of 6, entering into the final turn. I guess the most exciting thing that's happened is Derflinger moved into charge orders and pretty much smashed up the couple of units that were in the way here. One's destroyed, the other one fled over to the edge of the map. Still got one unit down here struggling with existential questions. What else? That main Swedish line, it's trying to move back, looking at some sort of reforming, but it's not really necessary. It's just trying to get out of the fight at this point. Really, that's all the Swedes are trying to do. They've lost. They're trying to keep it from being too big. Alright, and here we are, probably more than halfway through the final turn. Finally got the center wing to activate. They couldn't get into receive charge, but they got two, I don't know, semi-rallying type actions in this area under, what the hell is it? Make ready. And seeing some of the forces moving forward, we're also seeing they charged up, I'd say, 2 of their cav units to be prepared to fight. Then they slipped into charge mode and smacked in, destroyed one heavy infantry here. This guy, is it this guy? Yeah, I think it's this guy. Yeah. This guy went on a little expedition all the way back here, created a hedgehog out of one unit and sent another one running, sent another unit running. He did a lot without ever fighting, just running around behind enemy formations and, chasing them up. I believe units that are routed count as lost at the end of the battle. I'm not positive of that. I think that's the case. Alright. And nothing much more happened. The Swedes just tried to rally up their forces. They had the only actions left. And just trying to reduce the points at this point. We have a couple of routes that would have happened. 1, 2, 3. But I'll come back with the points in a little bit. Well, the numbers didn't turn out too bad, actually. First of all, those routed units don't count as far as I can tell. I don't think they'd be enough to swing things. Here's our losses kind of stacked. Cavalry are the most valuable, followed by infantry. Here's the Imperial Cavalry. Imperials had a lot of units that had been weakened by fire that hadn't been knocked off the map. So anyway, and they also lost one of their key leaders, who was worth 10 points. So anyway, the net was 111 losses for the Swedes point-wise, to 97 for the, not Imperials, the Brandenburgers. And that's a difference of 14 points. The historical difference was 40 points, and by these rules, that would still count as a draw. The Swedes really have to get hammered to lose this battle. On the other hand, had we not seen the big swing that happened somewhere in the middle of the game there was a big crack in the Swedish line, and everything sort of fell apart at once. Had we not seen that at all, the Swedes definitely would have won. They were ahead at that point, actually. So I think this was an interesting one. For me, I definitely like the open terrain a little bit better. It's easier for me to perform an attack that way. It was still very, very chaotic. And I fear that everything in this particular version is going to be like that, because it doesn't have the added stability of those big double hex counters. I felt like the big cavalry battles at the beginning of Gustav Adolf were these whirling masses of chaos. And I'm having these wherever Cav faces Cav in these open fields, and I think that happens in any battle to some extent. But this one, we had a lot of Cav over on the Brandenburg side, no infantry whatsoever. And I think that made the whole flavor of the battle more chaotic as well. Next one up is Halmstad, but I think I'm going to take a little bit of a break there, here, because I want to play this one. I read the rules while I was eating my breakfast. I had a T-bone for breakfast. I couldn't figure out when else to grill. Anyway, enough of that extraneous stuff. I'm going to send this one up for you guys, and this closes up Fehrbellin.